Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Boulder Canyon here in Farming Simulator 19. We're just going to get that one going again, so it continues on with planting our soybeans. And then we have very, very quickly got to skip over to this one and start gathering up timber, because if we don't do this very, very quickly, I want to change that to one pile on there. If we don't do this very, very quickly, we are going to end up... Switch auto load to left, so it's on the right at the moment. We're going to end up having to be fast-forwarding time while we're picking up the timber, rather than being able to do it afterwards. And the reason that I don't want to do that is because we desperately need to be able to buy our sheep pen, and so I want to do it like this. So yes, I'm really, really bending the rules that we have so carefully made sure that we've got to ensure it's sort of... our hardcore series is a hardcore series and reasonably fair. And yeah, I'm absolutely bending those rules a bit today. And sort of... Well, I wasn't last week, but I am today. I'm avoiding trying to pay the penalty of using the auto loader before I absolutely have to. I mean, we're still going to pay that penalty. That penalty does still have to happen. But I'd like to kind of leave it for just a little bit, if at all possible, so that I can get the sheep pen before I have to do very much else. And I hope you'll forgive me for this. I really do. But anyway, we should be able to get the sheep pen in. If we can get the second sheep pen in, we can start moving the sheep over. Although, I still don't actually want to move the sheep over immediately. I want to leave the sheep where they are for a minute. I'm going to stop there with our first load. I'm going to take those back down to the bottom, and we'll dump them in the yard in a great big heap. And then we can come back up and we can get another lot. Get those loaded up, ready to sell, and then we... got another lot. So that one's it's still running down there, so we've got it's got to stay on 1x speed while it's working in the field over there, because if it doesn't, bad things will happen and we'll have crops growing at all of the wrong rates. So I'm just going to unload this lot and dump it right there, just like that. Absolutely fantastic. And then as soon as that's unloaded, we will go rushing back up and we will get another load of timber. There we go. There is one load. We'll go and get another lot. And then we'll come back down again and get those unloaded. And actually, I'm just going to keep working on bringing all of the timber down first. And then once all the timber has been brought down, then we will worry. There is one log back down there. I'm not going to worry about that. It's only the one. Once we've brought all of the timber back down, and we've got it all down to the bottom, then we can see about getting it over to the mill and getting it sold. And we are going to have to pay a penalty for not using the auto load up here. So we're going to have to jump forward about 3 hours of time at some point. But I'd like to actually do that after we have sold all of the timber. And yeah, it might not be immediately after we've sold the timber, because I still want to buy the sheep pen. And I want to get that one done and installed. I'm probably not going to be in a position to actually move any sheep, at least not this evening. Not today, because of the amount of time that we're going to have to skip forward. So what we may end up having to do is sell 2 sheep. And it's not going to be a bad thing having to sell 2 sheep, though, because there's an extra 2 grand that we'll get, so it's extra money that we get that we'll add into the kitty. There's a lot of tree stumps up the top here that we haven't ground off. We're going to have to come up and do a load of work on that pretty soon. So that's going to be one of the next things that we'll do. We got weeds growing in the field just there in that corner. Only in that corner, though. It's funny, that. So we'll have to... put weeds, we'll have to put the herbicide across the whole field. Sorry, just had to stop to sneeze up a storm there a second. Okay, let's get this next lot unloaded, and then we're going to have an even bigger pile of timber down here. I'm kind of thinking that despite the fact that we're going to get all the timber down here, really... there's only so much that I can push the rules, I think, and if I just flat out refuse to fast forward time with the auto loader, sort of penalty because I want to get the money. I kind of feel like, you know, I've said that that's what I want to do, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm sort of pushing the whole cheating thing a little bit too far if I do that. So I think what we might have to do is we might have to accept a little bit of defeat on this. It's not that we're unable to get the sheep pen. We're still going to get the sheep pen. But I think we might have to just accept that we're going to have to sell a couple of sheep and run this through for another day. And then we've got the new... We can get the new sheep pen installed as soon as possible. And we need to get the water being put into the new sheep pen as soon as possible. And then on top of that, we've got to get a animal transport to be able to move the sheep from one pen to the other. And that's not going to be the easiest thing either. It's going to be quite time-consuming moving the sheep. So I've got a choice. I can either just use a standard one. Right, let's stop that one there. And then I got another load. We actually did quite a bit of timber cutting when we were up here last. I know I spent most of the last episode doing it. I did spend the majority of the last episode doing that. But I think we've done pretty well here, really. The amount of timber that we've got, we should have a good 2 full loads on this, I would say. So I think we've done alright with this. Bring that one up to there. And Helper D has completed their task. That means that to start with, at least, we have to go back to 5 times. We're not allowed to run it on standard speed. It's got to be on 5 times. Except, hang on. I'm going to drop that back down to 1 time speed. And there is one thing I'd like to do. All of these little tiny spots that get left behind, they're so inconsequential in the grand scheme of things that they don't really make any difference whatsoever. However, they do really, really irritate me more than I would care to admit. Like, they really bug me, these little tiny spots that get left behind. It really does irritate. Now, sometimes I am able to just ignore them and carry right on and pretend that they're not even there. Today is not such a day. Today I am not able to ignore those spots. I've got to get rid of them. I'm sorry, I've just got to remove them. It really does bug me that the hired help does this, and it does it a lot, doesn't it? And this is the one thing about the hired help that really irritates me more than anything else. I can accept it struggling to work with some odd-shaped fields. I can accept it just stopping work altogether in a weird, you know, like a sort of sharp triangle-shaped field every time it gets to the end of the row. I can accept that. But this leaving of one tiny little spot all the way round the field on every pass, just about, that is something that is, to my mind, pretty much unforgivable. That is just going too far, right? I put up with a lot of stuff from the hired help, but I do draw the line, and that is where I draw the line. That is the bit that is too much for me. That is the bit that I find unacceptable, completely unacceptable. I'm going to bring that one down to there, and we are now done. So I'm going to go back to 5 times speed, and I'm going to unload you, and we are just going to have to fast. So I'm just going to go to 120, and it's 2:45, so we're going to jump it through until 5:45, and we're just going to accept that we have indeed got 2 sheep. We're going to have to sell 2 sheep. We've got no choice. We'll have to sell 2 of these sheep. I'll probably have to sell them tomorrow. They're alright for a minute. We don't have to do anything for a minute. I just keep an eye on that time. When it gets to 5:45, I will put it back to 5 times speed. I can start unloading that there a minute. Go to 5 times, and then we have to go up. We have to start loading the stuff up in the field. Oh, the weeds have now come up across the whole field. There we go. We've now got weeds across everything. Yeah, I'm thinking that we could actually just get the weed killer on now. Now would be a good time to get the weed killer on, actually. Let me spin this one round. Like that. And I'll stop him there a second. And I'll go and get this one. We've got the sprayer over in the shed. And we've still got some weed killer left No, we haven't. We haven't got any weed killer left because I went and put it all into the tank of the machine, didn't I? And I said 5:45 that we would stop. So I want to go about there. Right, now we'll put that back to 5 times speed like that. And I will bring you back this way. We will get this sprayer going. Hook you on. 576 litres in here. Have we got... Did I go and pick everything up, or is that all I've got? I've got a feeling that this is all I've got. I think I did already pick it all up, which, yes, I did pick it all up already. So I don't have enough weed killer to do this entire field, which means I don't really want to start now. I'm going to hold that. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to leave that one there. I'm not going to do anything with that. And I'm going to go back to working on this. So we need to head back up. We're now going to have to turn this to 30 times. Like that. Because we are using the autoloader. And yeah. It's going to end up... I'm going to sort of be... too much cheating. If I don't do the 30 times speed and all the rest of it... now there's going to be too much cheating. So we're just going to have to accept that we weren't able to get the sheep pen in time. And we are going to have to sell a couple of sheep. We're only going to sell 2, I think. And that will allow us time to get the new sheep pen, get it installed, get the water going. I'd like to be able to buy the sheep pen tonight, but we're running out of time to be able to do that. So I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to even do that. I mean, we might. We might get there in time. If I can reach the $180,000 target. Because remember, we've only got to have it on 30 times speed whilst picking it up off the floor up here. This is what we've said. This is what you, the viewers, said. Alright, you said that it doesn't really need to be on 30 times speed to reload back in the yard. We've kind of paid the penalty for the autoloader, so we don't need to do that twice. And I'm quite glad you said that. I'm quite glad that you, the viewers, were the voice of reason on that one. Because it's going to make life easier for me. It means that I do have a shot at getting that sheep pen. And that is about full now. I'd be surprised if I'm able to get much more in there. I'm going to load it up. This is putting the logs right out over to the other side of the trailer instead of putting them in. Right, well, that's just going to have to do. We'll do it like that. And I've still got another part of a load up here. But I don't think I'm going to go and get those now. I think we'll leave those. We will take the ones that we've got down in the yard. And we will take those over to the mill and we will sell them. And that may give us enough time to get the sheep pen tonight. Because if we can, we should also be able to get the water being installed. If we can get the water installed tonight, that will mean that by tomorrow morning... Oh, no, we need to put it going because it starts at 6 AM and I think it takes 24 hours to get it installed. I'm not quite sure how long it takes to get that installed, but yeah, we do actually want to be able to do that. So next, I want to press enter to give that 2 full stacks, and then I press B so that it starts loading again. And I put a few going at a time, and then I stop it again, because otherwise you can end up with the logs sort of not sitting evenly, but they're sitting pretty evenly there. They've done fairly well on that one. And let all those drop through there. And there. See what I mean? You get, like, every now and then, you do get one that doesn't sit quite right. And you've got to help it out a little bit. That one, I don't think I'm going to be able to help out at all. Unless I can get something like that. If I can take that there. Alright, and then I hold this end like this. Now, middle mouse button to rotate it. Right? It's not the easiest thing doing the rotating. But that's about right. So I've now got a spear. That doesn't... there we go. Right. That's now in place. So then I can just drop that one down, and that one will be alright. And then I can go back over into here, and we can do a little bit more loading. We should be able to get the rest of that one all completely loaded up. And then... Are you really stopping there? There's loads more room yet. Well, it's pretty close to being full now. I'd say that was pretty close to being full now. I'm going to swap sides, and I'm going to change the pile, which is the full stop on the number pad. And then we'll stop, and we will put the... Oops, no, I meant to do that. That's what I want to do. I want to put the straps onto the lorry, and now we can start heading off towards the mill. And this is the bit where we've actually got to be a bit careful. If I go too fast going around the corner with this load on, it will cause problems. It will tip over because it's quite top heavy, and the trailer is inclined to lean over to one side anyway because of the weight distribution of these logs right here. I don't have the weight distribution particularly perfect, and you can see it's slightly slanting over to the right on this load. But it'll be okay. We'll get it up there. We won't tip it over. We'll tip this lot out. This is going to be probably 40 to 45,000, I would guess. Maybe a little bit more. Hopefully a little bit more. Then we've got another such a load that we can go back and get again, which I'm hoping then will be enough for us to be able to get the sheep pen and buy the other stuff that we want to buy as well. The first thing that we're going to get, though, is not the sheep pen. Well, yeah, the sheep pen. As soon as we've done that, we want to get the water. Right? We want to order the water installation. Once the water is installed, then we can worry about getting the animal transport trailer. Because there's no point in moving sheep over into a pen that has got no... It's got nothing in it. Right? If it's got no water available, and we don't have a water tanker anymore, so we can't go and use that. There's $37,000. Drop all of that lot down there. There's another 8,500, and I've got this one still. I'm going to have to do that a little bit differently. I wonder if I can do that with Y. Okay, that worked. I'm surprised it worked. Is it going to sell? No, it's not going to sell from there. I'm going to have to shunt it over. We'll do it like this. Now come in and around like that. Okay. All that did was kind of roll it around. But I've got a plan. I'm going to try and do that again. I'm going to bring this back over here. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go alongside the log like this. And that generally will move the log. Although it's not really put it in the right way. It's not quite close enough either. It's very close, but it's not quite close enough. I've got less than an hour left, and have you noticed the way that it's rolling that log? It's kicking it backwards every time, so it's still not actually catching, which is a bit of a jolly nuisance. I wonder if I can do it like that. Maybe I can do it like this. And just sort of push it along like that. Is that far? I don't think that's far enough down, but I might be able to do that again a little bit. Just inch it forward, like that. And as soon as you start biting onto it to sort of climb up, then trouble happens. It's still not enough. Still haven't moved it forward enough. I should have kept another log. If I'd kept another one, we'd have been alright. Keep going like that. And as soon as the wheel starts to climb up on the log, go backwards a little bit. That's better. There. That's bound to be in enough. And we get another 862. Yeah, it was really worth it for all of that. $172,000, which is not enough yet, but one more load and we will have enough money to do what we need to do. And that is to buy a large sheep pen so that we can move the sheep we've got over to the new pen. We are going to have to sell sheep. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough space in, and I have just broken the wall there. We don't have enough space to be able to care for the sheep that we've got. We're going to have to sell... well, not that we don't have enough space to care for them. We don't have enough space for any more sheep. And that's a problem. That is a bit of a problem. Right, we'll swing that one in round there, because I don't want to be driving on the crop at all. I'm wondering if maybe I should ease back a bit on that corner, because we are quite close to that corner up there. And it's difficult to get the trailers out round it sometimes, isn't it? And we stop right here. Now, we need to change it over to the front. There we go. We've changed over to the front one. We can load this lot back up again. Like that. And now I'm going to shunt and move a little bit closer. Like that. I should go a little bit slower when I'm starting and stopping the movement, because then I'm not going to have loads and loads of trouble. But never mind. Okay, I'll bring that over like that there. And we'll go again. Alright, I've got a nice lot of logs coming up on here. I've noticed that they do seem to stack quite high on one side, which is really a little bit weird. I'm not quite sure why it does that. That is very strange. Just move forward a bit. There's one tiny one there that I'm not... oh, it has picked it up now. Right, I was going to say, I'm not sure it's going to pick it up, but it did just manage to get it. There's only 3 logs left. If we can get those. We've got half an hour left. And we don't have a completely full load, but it will do. We've got enough here to be able to afford to buy the sheep pen. So we need to get over to the mill. Sell this load here. It's getting late now, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting late. We're going to run out of time. We can still do it in the morning. It's just that I want to do it now so that I can put the order in for the water to start being installed. Because they don't. They say it will start tomorrow at 6 a.m. So if I don't put the order in this evening, I'm going to end up having to wait for another 24 hours before they even start the installation process for the water lines. And I don't want to be waiting that long. We've also got to get some more herbicide. And we've got 2 choices with that. We can either get a herbicide tank built back here at the yard, or we can go and buy another pallet of herbicide and drive that back from the shop alongside our new trailer that we'll be getting, the new livestock trailer. We've got a choice right there. We've got one or the other. We can either do the installation, which costs about 10 grand, or we can just get the whole thing done. And there we go. That is another $36,000. And another little bit as well, which makes another 3,000. So there's 40 grand there. We've got 211,000. We're going to go straight into the shop. We're going to go to here, going to animal pens, and this is the one that we've been waiting for. There it is, large sheep pasture, large sheep enclosure. This is what we have been waiting for, right here. Now, I need 2 lots of these, right? I need a double lot of this. So that one there, we could put there. I'm not going to put it like that. We've got water out one side, and food is out the side, water is out the back on here. Water is at the back, so we don't need to worry about water in the slightest. Now, I'm going to rotate that one back round. I did say I wanted to keep a tree inside it, but that's kind of fallen by the wayside. So if I put it like that, let me rotate me around. If I was to put it like that, there, I could bring that up a little bit, and then we will sort of pave over this area in front of it. That will work out just fine. And water is at the back, so we don't need to actually access that. So we could put one sheep pen there, and then we could put another sheep pen over here. And we'll end up with 2 sheep pens. And, I mean, the other option is to put the other sheep pen over there and then have the 2 of them sort of back to back. Like facing the other way so that the food is right next to each other. But I don't want to do that. I'd either want to do it like that and have it facing that way, or like that, so we have a track up through the middle and the 2 lots of wool close to each other. But I'd actually prefer it like this. I think this would make it easier to work around, to move around them as well. We don't need to get right round the back of them, so I could move it back slightly so we've got room to shunt and move about a little bit on here. Just there. It's not going right up against where the stone is. That gives us plenty of space to move around there. I like that. Better hurry up and make a decision here. Now all I need to do is decide how high, how low we want it. And what I'm looking at now is the actual front of the sheep pen. You can see there it's going under the ground. It's coming up. I'd like to have that one so there's not too much of a step on the front of the actual sheep shed. So if I do it like that, it's going to be down into the ground a little bit. There. That's where I want it. Just like that. So there's $28,000 that we've got left. It would have cost us a little bit to drop that one in there. We've actually got enough room that we could put the large sheep pen where the current sheep pen is. So I could do that. Right, we could do another large sheep pen. We would have to rotate it slightly. It would be better being put that way round. But there is room to do that. And that means that we could keep the sheep much closer together. Food would be down this side for this one. I could move that up there a bit. So we have got room to be able to do that. That would keep both the sheep pens together, and that would work. So we've got room to do that if we want to later on, but we're not going to worry about that now. So there's $183,000 that cost to build. One thing that we are going to have to do around there is some landscaping to kind of level it off, because that's just the initial build process. We've got to tidy up after the builders have been. I've got 5 minutes to get back to the yard and order the installation of the new water line. So I'm going to run back over this way quickly as I can. And it's not 5 minutes our time, it's 5 minutes game time, which is altogether different, as we all know. So we're going to bring this one over here. Turn those lights off. And screech to a halt on there. Yes, I know that is definitely not the way to be stopping a vehicle. But I got 3 minutes to get over here and put this order in. So I need to hurry up and get it done. 2 minutes, and there. Right, would you like to pay $4,300 to install a new pipeline? Yes, I would. Installation will arrive at 0600, and then it will take 10 hours. So tomorrow, and we've now run out of time. We're not allowed to do anything else. That's dropped right down underneath those bales. It's not going to move them. But there is the new sheep pen. It's nice and level all the way round. This is pretty level anyway down here. This up here, we're going to need to do some actual leveling work and a bit of landscape work around that. But it's gone past bedtime now. So there is absolutely nothing I can do apart from go to sleep for my 11 hours of beauty sleep. So we will do that. Oops. There, 11 hours. 11 hours of beauty sleep. We've got the new sheep pen installed. However, we're not yet ready to move the sheep. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, 7,000 in loan interest. That's the expensive bit. It is expensive doing that, so we've got more things that we're going to have to do. That is now being installed, and that's the feeder on that side. Over here, we've got some waste on here. If I have a look in here a minute, and I have a look at the animals, we've got 79 sheep. I get another one in 2.5 hours. So we're not going to be wanting to move any. I'm going to want to sell 1 sheep. Only 1. I'm not going to sell any. I don't think I need to sell 2. Just 1 would be enough. So 1 sheep here. Move that one over. Confirm. There. I have sold 1 sheep. We've got Already 10,000 litres of wool on there. This we will be able to start filling up. I've got a tree stump in the middle there, which we didn't clear before I got this installed. There is no other tree stump. So I've got the water being installed. I need to... Well, hang on a minute. What have we got? We got almost 17,000. Now, miscellaneous is the one that we're going to want, isn't it? We've got a lime station, which is 30 grand, which we definitely can't afford. Seed tank, solid, liquid fertilizer is 8,500. So I do have the money for that. All right, I've got the money to be able to buy that, if I want to. However, if I buy that, I'm not going to be able to buy that, and I can't buy that one at the moment anyway. Don't currently have the money to be able to buy that one. So we will go and we will buy this one first. We'll buy this one now, because I need that. I need to be able to get going in the field. We've got, no, not liquid fertilizer, it's herbicide. I need herbicide. I need to be able to get the herbicide and get that started. So I've got seed over there and I've got fertilizer over there. I'm not going to be using liquid fertilizer, but I'm quite happy with using the herbicide and putting that near the fertilizer tank. I don't think that's a bad thing, putting those two close together. Let's zoom in a little bit and see how high I want that one above the ground. That's going to be just fine there, I think. Just do it like that. There. Right, so there's the herbicide done. I've got $8,500 left. I'm going to need more money so that I can go and do the rest of it. Now, we've got one growth stage has come through by the look of it. I shouldn't, if all is going well, I shouldn't actually need to drive on... I shouldn't damage the field driving on it. But we're not going to go racing onto the field, but it shouldn't cause any damage to those plants with me driving on here. Nope, it doesn't. Right, that's good. So we know that that's working properly. We can now start doing the herbicide and bring that out like that. We will do once around, and then we can let the hired help go on and finish doing the herbicide. So I'm going to start right there, like that, and go along like this. There, bring that up to that corner, and then we can head off down there. Oh. Some of it is getting a little bit bigger, but it's not good enough. It's not getting big enough. It's not getting bigger fast enough. Well, it's not going to be a problem for us anyway. That's absolutely not going to be a problem for us. So we will bring this around this way, and I will start going up through here. So, we've got a few more trees that we're going to need to move in order to be able to get the animal transport to start moving the sheep over. We've sold one sheep so far. I don't think we're going to need to sell any more than that. I think just the one will be sufficient. We won't need to worry about any more beyond that one sheep that we've just sold. I'm hoping. We need just under $20,000, which is not even a full trailer load of timber. I might actually have enough timber at the top of the hill to be able to cover that cost anyway. And if I don't, I can just go and get a little bit more. We've only got 4 bales of hay left. And yes, the hay does last a while, but we're not going to be able to sell silage in our next grass cutting. We're going to need to do that all as hay over there so that we've got some more bales stored up for our sheep. Because the sheep are growing ever faster. We're increasing in number on our sheep. Ever more and more. But we'll worry about all of that in our next episode because we have now run out of time. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithcar. Goodbye, and see you later.